Pretty sure I saw you, Crystal. Let's see. I think you're probably here, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes.
I can't see you anywhere.
Um, I don't know. It might be off video, but I'm here. I'm trying to. I don't do very good with technology, unfortunately.
Well, I think the only thing you have to learn is how to turn your camera on Zoom. If it's just me and you, then yeah, I'm going to be able to get you going on this right away, and this will help you start getting rid of some belly fat.
Wonderful. Let's see. I'm pushing around on here.
Oh, there you go. You got it.
Okay, perfect.
All right, boom. Speaker there, computer audio there. Awesome sauce. And I'm going to record this. That way we'll have it in the course. So you get to be the example that others are learning from. And make sure you come back tomorrow because you're going to have some homework to get through tonight. And then
Okay.
you'll be able to basically ask questions about it tomorrow because we're going to set up a plan to get you, like, to put in action. So I will be happy to explain whatever needs to be explained. But more importantly, I want to give you, like, actions to take, to start taking over the next 30 days. And the goal is to absolutely drop weight over the next 30 days. And if you're the only one doing it, then the other people can catch up later. But the important thing is that you start taking the action and get some great results. Sound good?
Yes. Excited. Yes. Thank you.
Welcome. All right. Get a clean sheet of paper and something to write with. We're going to focus on the most important things. And instead of me giving you a bunch of handouts, I'm going to have you take your own notes. That way you know what you're doing for action plans going forward.
Perfect. Notebook and pen ready.
All right. Inner stance and epigenetics. We must incorporate those and get them in action as well. So today's agenda, we're going to create your daily success schedule. So you don't have to write all this down yet, but
Okay.
today we're going to create the daily success schedule, and then I'm going to teach you about your emotion and thought inventory. So on one sheet of paper, write daily success schedule. Next sheet of paper, write emotion and thought inventory. Those are going to be very important.
Perfect.
Rule number one: stop eating before 7. Don't eat after. Don't eat until 10. Boom. Aligned action number one. Pretty easy. Burn more calories than you consume each day. We can do that one too. Eat 70 grams of protein a day. Avoid foods that elevate insulin. Move your muscles for 30 minutes each day. Sleep for 7 hours each night. And drink 100 ounces of water each day. These are things I'm sure you already knew. And if we can
Yep.
do all of these each day, plus your own timed eating protocol, we're going to have success. All right. At the top of your sheet, what time are you getting out of bed and you're doing your morning ritual?
Getting out of bed at 6 a.m. and doing morning ritual.
Right after you get out of bed.
Yeah.
The key is to get right out of bed, do the morning ritual, and then at the end of the morning ritual, do your first mini workout. It'll take 10 minutes of your day. If you just do it first thing, no matter what, you'll always get some type of workout in first thing in the morning. And you can just do the morning ritual that's handed out. But we want to do this. The most important thing everybody can do to change their epigenetics and our inner alignment is to start the day off with prioritizing your self health. So, doing your morning ritual right when you get out of bed is going to make a big difference in the way your brain, your hormones, and your epigenetics line up because you're basically saying, hey, today my health, my aligned action is the first priority of my day. So at the very bottom of the sheet, when are you going to go in bed lights off?
Um, I am lights off at 9:30 p.m.
Now here's the thing. These are like commitments to yourself, and it's how you're going to program your brain and body to be healthy. So wherever you put down on this paper, your job is to be 100% committed to it. If you're for sure can be in bed by 9:30 with lights off, put 9:30. If you think it's going to be 10, put 10. But definitely, whatever you put,
Oh, lights off. That's the important part, huh?
yeah, lights off in bed, lights off 10 o'clock. Because you're going to do a bedtime ritual right before that. That's when you start calm
Yeah,
down.
bedtime rituals 9:30. Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. That makes sense.
Because this schedule is how you'll get all your priorities in each day and you'll do the most important things no matter what. These have to be non-negotiables that you do no matter what. That's the main thing for today is the most important things to get done each day. That's why you're going to schedule time for them and you're going to get them done no matter what. Give me 1 second. I need my Apple Pencil. And I'm going to do some writing as well. But you can
Okay.
start typing that out. Oh, here it is. Thank goodness. Rocket didn't eat it. That's even better. All right. So, for instance, if you're out of bed each morning, this means by 6 o'clock, you are starting your morning ritual and you're doing your morning mojo. You're also doing your movement
Yep.
and your mindset. This is going to be very, very important for the epigenetics and the inner alignment. So I like to do a plank and do it because it gets kind of hard. And then when the plank gets too tired, I just sit down and finish it. But it's just doing it again and again every single day. And I'm going to talk to you about the breathing. Like we're going to evolve your alignment practice today, and then we're going to add on more tomorrow, and I'm going to add more on as we go because this is so important, Crystal.
Okay.
This is where we start aligning our inner stance, our inner alignment with our hormones and our epigenetics in order to get a long-term change. So morning mojo, movement, mindset, bam. And to make it really easy, well, I'll show you. I put some stuff in school so you can access it there as well. Move your muscles. You're going to do movement right here, and you're going to do movement another time in the day. You can decide how long. 30 minutes is awesome. 15 minutes is okay. But you must put in a time. What time are you going to do it? Don't wait until you have time. Don't wait till you find time. Decide. What some people like to do is just do their 30-minute workout right after the morning ritual. Get it done first thing in the morning.
That's what works for me.
Yes.
That's what I
So,
like to do in my brain, so we're gonna commit it.
all right. Now, bedtime ritual starts at 9:30.
Yes.
What time are lights out?
10.
Perfect. That gives you
At
8
the
hours.
latest.
Okay. That gives you 8 hours of sleep. And so now you're making commitments to these times. And a commitment is an agreement with yourself. And that's how you build your self concept, your inner alignment, your identity. Your consciousness is going to be a key word. Consciousness, inner alignment, and soul are pretty much synonymous. We can use a lot of different words for it, but when it comes to epigenetics and using your consciousness, your level of awareness to shift, they're all sort of connected. And I'll show you how that works.
Okay.
So during the bedtime ritual, you will have a 5-minute part of this bedtime ritual will be a 5-minute alignment practice. The rest of it can be turning off screens, doing this, taking a bubble bath, showering, whatever you need in your bedtime ritual right now. We want it to end with a 5-minute alignment practice.
Okay.
The other alignment practice is going to be for 5 to 10 minutes. And you can decide what time of the day you're going to do it.
Okay. I'm gonna say 2 p.m. because that's when I take a significant break at work.
And you'll be closing your eyes.
Yeah.
Breathing. Yeah.
Yeah. I come home and that's what I do. I hit the door and I try to commit to 10 to 15 minutes of just I lay there, eyes closed.
Love it. So you are going to put down all your times, and they don't have to be in order. And tomorrow we can change your schedule a day. If you need to change it, like if this doesn't work and there's something that you need to switch around, like we'll adjust it for tomorrow. And then tomorrow you'll have a slightly different order. If something takes longer, we can adjust it. Now the other
Okay.
thing, this can be 5 to 15 minutes, and this is a very important time. This gets rid of the rushing women syndrome. This gets rid of all the stress. This gets rid of all wondering what to do. This is 5 to 15 minutes where you write down everything on your to-do list, everything that's been on your mind, all the things you got to do. You write them all down and you look at them and you prioritize which one's going to get attention first. So it's basically when things come up through the day, you just make a mental note of it, put it in your phone notes, or just write it down. And then you're going to organize these things at one chunk of time at some point in your day. Like, it's not to get anything done at all. It's just to look at it all and decide what needs to be done first, what's the most important thing to me, and then you put them in order, and you have your list of your order of operations. You basically you're prioritizing your attention.
Okay.
So any other time of the day where you feel like your attention going there, going here, going elsewhere, just remember, no, I'll just do this during my attention priority time. I'll organize it then. I'll figure it out then. And then your brain, your subconscious will start trusting that, and it won't go in that fight or flight rushing women syndrome, and you'll stay way calmer.
Oh, nice.
But you have to make the deal with your subconscious and your conscious brain and follow through, because it's really cool because you sit down and you say, all I need to do for the next 15 minutes is prioritize my attention. I don't need to get anything done. This time is for strategy and prioritizing what needs attention first and when I'm going to do it. And you can schedule when you're going to do them in your calendar. It's not put them in a big list and try to get it all done right after you're done. No, it's like, okay, on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, I'm going to calendar that. At Thursday at 4 o'clock, I'm going to calendar that. Okay, so you're organizing your weekly calendar based on where your attention needs to go and the amount of time you have in the week. Because often what happens, and a lot of stress happens because of this, we have all these things to do, and we know they're all important, and we feel like I'm going to just get it all done, I'm going to get it all done, but there's actually not enough time to get them done unless we put them in the calendar and actually create the time for it, and then we know when it's happening, and then it's no longer a stress.
That makes
So
sense.
this is a new one for a lot of people, and a lot of CEOs, executives do it because it's how they organize their priorities and get the most important things done. For any person, especially women who have high stress levels, it's definitely helpful because it lets your brain have a break from figuring everything out throughout the day, and you get to make a deal with it. You're going to figure everything out. You're going to have time just to prioritize, strategize, and calendar things. All right. Hey, Deb, I'm glad you made it.
Yes, I did.
So
Figured it out.
Factor number one is your daily success schedule. You can schedule them whenever you want throughout the day. And in school, I will have a post that says, can you guys see my screen still?
Yes.
It says school. Okay, good. It'll say in here, it'll be boom, and it will say daily success schedule. Just take a picture of it and post it. Because these are the things, as long as you schedule them and get them done, and I'll write post, take a picture, and post your daily success schedule. And now we have some category, some a little bit of accountability for it. Boom. All right. So that's where you'll put that in. And inside the classroom, by tomorrow, we're going to start your 3-day detox. The 3-day detox is right here. And your Morning Mojo, we're going to add lemon to it. Lemon's going to have more benefits than just the apple cider vinegar. So the same apple cider vinegar with 24 ounces of water. Then also try to squeeze a half a squeeze lemon in it. And by the way, if you don't have apple cider vinegar, you don't have lemon, just drink the water. It's a Mojo Light. Just get the water in for sure, hyperhydrate. But if you have all of the above, awesome. All right. So this is not as intense as the 2-day detox. It's actually a lot of chicken stir fry. So you can see the recipes. There's a nice, the Feel Good Berry Green Hormone Detox Smoothie. The Feel Good Chicken Stir Fry. If you don't like chicken, you can substitute turkey or really, really lean beef, but not as good. Definitely go with chicken, turkey, or fish if you wanted, or tofu. Notice it has the coconut aminos instead of soy sauce. A lot
Oh,
of
those are
turmeric, bok choy. All of these ingredients are very, very important because they're going to detox your gut microbiome and they're going to get your system running clean. And you're going to be eating it for several days in a row. So make some, have fun with it. All the instructions right there. Day 2, meal 1, you're going to have lower calories on day 2, but you can also have your Feel Good scrambled eggs and veggies. And those you're going to combine 2 eggs and egg whites. You can leave anything off that you want to leave off, but don't get creative and add more things.
oh, perfect.
Unless it's more green vegetables, then that's okay. But you can leave stuff out. There's the Feel Good Clean Out the Fridge green salad. So there's more food. You're not starving yourself. There's a little shopping list right there. And those are
Oh,
all right inside school. So when you start your 3-day detox, just post it in the group, starting my 3-day detox. You don't have to start tomorrow. You can start the next day, start the day after that. But the sooner you start it, the better. Okay. Any questions about the detox?
not at this time.
All right. Moving your muscles. Walking counts, but barely. Barely. We really want strength training. And thank you for posting about the Seth workouts. You can just pick your favorite one, do it every day, or do it at least 3 or 4 times a week and walk on the other day. But you want your body moving each day of the week because it's telling your inner alignment, your inner stance, we do healthy things. We do healthy things. That's what we're doing. That's how we're rolling. And the more aligned actions you take each day, the more your body is going to realize that there's a new agenda in town. So, number 1, we're going to follow your daily success schedule. Number 2, very easy. Stop eating before 7. Don't start eating until after 10 a.m. So basically, sunlight. It's the sunlight fast. It's a sunrise fast. which is Deb. I love the app you recommended, by the way. I like it so much more than the others because there's so fewer apps, and it's so easy to put your custom times in. So I think it's going to work great for Crystal when we introduce that to her tomorrow. But
Perfect.
right now, just 7 hour eating window. Make sure it's light outside when you eat. Okay, so these are the things we have going now. The daily success schedule, this is a big one. What gets scheduled, gets prioritized, and gets done. So the bedtime ritual with a 5-minute alignment, the alignment practice sometime in the morning, middle of the day, or night, which is separate than the bedtime. Move your muscles, what time you're going to do it. It doesn't have to be the same time every day because you can make one of these, you can make a new schedule for each day of the week. And then your attention priority time. This is the cure for rushing women's syndrome. And you can also make a plan of when you're going to have your first meal and when you're going to have your last calorie. So this doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be a deal you make with yourself and you stick to it. That's inner stance. I am choosing to follow my plan. All right. Warrior weapon number 1, awareness. Thought awareness, emotional awareness, physical awareness. Awareness is your first superpower. What am I thinking right now that caused this feeling that I'm feeling right now? How is my body feeling? But most importantly for us right now, be very aware of what thoughts are going through your head, especially if suddenly you feel anxious, or you feel sad, or you feel angry, or you feel frustrated, or you feel stressed. And stress is just a form of fear, sugar-coated with a fancy word that people celebrate, but it's fear. Stress is fear. Fear of the future, fear of time, fear of not having enough, fear of falling short. So it's a form of fear, and it's okay. Don't judge it. Just know what thought came right before that, and that's going to go in your thought inventory. We'll get to that in a second. Oh man, lots of stuff here. I added a whole bunch of notes too that I didn't organize. There's one in there. So on your second piece of paper, write thought inventory, and I would do them side by side on the same sheet of paper, emotion inventory. What we care about are what are the thoughts that come up during the day that trigger the unpleasant emotions. Because this is what's going to impact your epigenetics. This is what will impact your inner stance. This is what impacts your consciousness. And inner energy, consciousness, soul, we're going to call them all the same thing.
Moon.
Okay. Your job is straight line alignment. Here's where you are right now. You have a desire, you have a goal, you have an intention. And this desire, first of all, a purpose is a feeling. If you haven't done the purpose worksheet yet, like my purpose has changed. My purpose on this planet is to feel like, and it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm just going to say it. My purpose is to feel like I am worthy and loved by myself and by my creator, so I can inspire others to feel the same. Boom. Worthiness and feeling love. Big for me. So I practice feeling worthy. I practice feeling loved. Those, you have to practice and memorize your purpose emotions. So remember, purpose is a feeling. Feelings matter immensely with epigenetics. The way you feel matters, and being aware of when you're feeling unpleasant, and then practicing feeling your purpose emotions. You don't have to practice feeling joy if that's not your purpose emotion. You don't have to practice feeling excitement or love if that's not your purpose emotion. but you do need to practice your purpose emotions. And if you haven't seen that one yet, it is right at the there's a whole process to go through. And again, you should do it several times because when you go through this, you remember your emotions. You remember the ones that you remember the most from your earliest memory all through. You can identify the most powerful emotions to you that actually help you stay epigenetically aligned and consciously aligned. So we all say, I want to feel happy all the time. Okay, great. But if you stick with your purpose emotions, you're going to be able to return to them again and again and again. You're going to practice them. You're going to be able to go back to them. And that's what we really want. So know what those purpose emotions are, because that's when you decide to feel a certain way, you want to decide to feel your purpose emotions. That's going to align you with your consciousness, your inner self, and that's how you go from the old self to your true self. And that means we have to go through the unknown void. That means doing things that you normally wouldn't do, prioritizing your self health when normally you would just go to work, get this done, help the kids, all this other stuff. You wouldn't stick to your schedule. But by you deciding to stick to your schedule now, it's actually going to change the way things line up for you. But if you just do the actions, but you don't stick to your schedule and your alignment, your commitments, you're not changing anything. You're not doing anything uncomfortable. If you're just thinking the same old thoughts you always thought, you're not writing them down and not trying to be aware, you're not going to change. If you're letting the same old feelings, because they're memorized, they're run programs, you click them and they run, and you're back on normal, familiar ground. We want to recognize the unpleasant ones and do something different about it. But it's not as easy as it sounds, but it's very, very necessary. All right, your purpose, emotions. Practice feeling them. And if you don't know what they are, find out what they are. I cannot tell you enough how important it is to identify these and practice feeling them. Mine is worthiness and love. That's my primary emotions. Worthiness and love. For a while, it was excitement and joy, but really, I've got some stuff. I've got some stuff that make me feel unloved, that make me feel unworthy, that I'm always trying to prove my worthiness, and I always trying to earn love. And it's like those are emotions that keep coming up when I do the exercise, and they're the ones that I need to practice feeling. And when I'm in that emotional state, I'm aligned with my consciousness, with my higher self, with my spiritual self, with my inner energy, my quantum self. Now, next is your desire. What is your innermost, deepest desire? What is the desire you're working towards now? Identify that, because everything we're doing is to feel our purpose emotions and to move closer to our desire. And desires are not selfish. They're not chosen by you and your personality. Our desires are hardwired in our DNA, genetic code, in our soul, in our spirit, and our inner light. They're there. They're always going to be there. So get very clear on what your desire is and what you're moving towards. And if your desire is to have 20 pounds less fat, okay, that's your desire. That's what we're going for. But know why that's important to you. And you have to practice feeling like your desire is already come true. That's the big thing. You have your purpose emotions. So this is the outcome you want. Practice feeling. Affirmations do not do much. They're temporary feel good. You actually have to visualize it, imagine it, and practice feeling like it's already happening. Now, an intention is the action steps. An intention is I am going to do my morning ritual first thing in the morning. I'm going to do my 30-minute workout at 2 p.m. That's an intention. And a goal is cool, but an intention is I am emotionally invested. It aligns with my desire, and I am going to do it not because someone's going to yell at me if I don't, because it aligns with who I am and what I'm moving towards. So do not set an intention unless you plan to keep it. And if you don't keep it, don't feel guilty. That's just an old program. Figure out what you can do differently or change your intention. But your intentions equal your aligned actions. The number of aligned actions you take each day, feeling your desire emotions and feeling your purpose emotions while you're taking the aligned action, that changes your epigenetics. Now, man, do I have a lot of stuff here. Okay, I'm going to add another page because I am not going to make you muddle through my notes. You have a physical body. Every one of us does. Up here, there is the quantum mechanics happening, and these are subatomic particles that are shaping reality before reality appears. Science proves it. The observer effect proves it. And turns out that spiritual practices have been describing quantum mechanics for years, especially Eastern ones. Especially, I mean, there's even stuff in Christianity that lines exactly up with quantum mechanics. But science now proves that there is a subatomic quantum world that's creating our reality before we experience it. So this is like the 5D. This is 3D. And also God. And for me, God, get over defining it, Tom. You're not going to figure it out right now. You don't need to understand it all the way. You don't understand. You don't have to compare religion and quantum mechanics and totally understand it to believe in it, because it's there. There's a higher power than me. There's a higher power than any human, but we're all connected to it. Here's what we're going to call it. The thing that connects us to our higher power, to God, to quantum mechanics. Here's where our energy comes from. This is your soul. I like to call it your life light. Some people call it your spirit. Some people call it your consciousness. But that is the connection between the stuff we can't see, but we know is there, and in the middle, here's where we're going to be spending most of our attention, our 4D self. This is our consciousness. This is our self-concept. This is how we exist. This is how we show up in the world. This is how we think, how we feel, how we believe, and even our programs, our run-click programs, our SP programs, all of our programs are in this in our inner body. This is our consciousness. I'm going to show you something really cool about consciousness, and it's going to combine quantum mechanics and spirituality, especially Christianity, in just a second. So this is the part that everyone's neglecting. I should use a different color, huh, Crystal? Let's go with let's go yellow here. This is the part that we're neglecting, that we're just taking for granted. If you are feeling stressed and overwhelmed and scared, you are not aligning with your inner self. You're connecting with your ego, your brain, your fear, completely different. So being aware of what we're thinking and feeling is absolutely instrumental, and not trying to do it perfectly, but becoming our awareness. Now, in the physical body, this is pretty simple. Yeah, we break it down with your DNA, your cells. Up here, it's subatomic. Here, it's cellular, things that happen in the cells, neurotransmitters, but here's the cells. It's your organs, It's your muscles, it's fat, it's your heart, all your organs. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Your heart is the portal between these. Your heart is also a portal here. But here's where it gets really fun. Epigenetics occurs on this layer between your 4D self and your 3D self. This is where you change your epigenetic. The actions you take, the thoughts you think, the feelings you feel, what you believe, and the programs you run all day are impacting the way your genes show up in your physical body. So by changing your inner body, your consciousness, you will have an impact on your epigenetics. That's the part that's missing with health and weight loss, unless you're talking to a holistic doctor. And that's the part I want us all to really take away. It's not just eating right and exercise. It's not just sleep and fasting. It's how you're thinking about it, how you're feeling about it. So here's the fun one. Ready, get set, go. All right. Consciousness. Remember, your inner body, your inner energy is your consciousness. It's your awareness. It's your soul. There's a lot of words we can call it. It is your state right now. So you have all probably seen this symbol somewhere in your lifetime. That's cross. These are your levels of consciousness. The vertical line are your states of consciousness, your states of inner being. Negative state, the lowest level of consciousness is a negative state, and it can get very negative, like anger, depression, apathy. They're all down here. These are negative, unpleasant states. It's a feeling, it's an attitude, it's a way we're showing up at that time. Okay, the first acceptable state just happens to be called acceptance. You're accepting what is without resisting it. Next is gratitude. These are empowering states. And then there's levels that go up. Our baseline state is joy. Boom. That's when we're the most powerful. And we can even be more empowered if we have enthusiasm. I'm going to have to move this because it keeps happening. There we go. We have enthusiasm right here. Excitement. I like to call the top one light sharing. That's when we are sharing our light and it's benefiting those around us. When you go around those people, you just feel good being around them. That's because they are in a state that you can feel, and it's actually raising the whole consciousness of everyone in the room. Okay, watch this now. States and time. States and time. This is the past. This is the future. The past is a memory that all of us hold differently in our brains. We all think of tomorrow, of yesterday differently, yet in our brains, it's like a reality that, really happened exactly the way we think. But the past is not going to help you do anything but learn the lesson at that time and apply that lesson to this sweet spot in the middle. The future is predictions, and if we're using our imagination it's a negative imagination, meaning we're thinking about all the stressful things that could happen, the negative things that could happen, the bad things that could happen, then that is negative imagination, and that's where stress comes from. And if we're thinking about all the negative memories and they're triggering things, that's also negative imagination because we're thinking of the memory, recreating the story in our brain, and then feeling the emotions again that came along with that story. It takes us out of our alignment and it takes us off the vertical path. This part right here is the only thing we can ever do anything about. And this is the wonderful time called now being. Now being joyful. Now being grateful. Now being accepting. This is your cross and your sword, because when you go up the vertical plane past joy up here, you can actually use that as a sword to penetrate old programs. When you're down here, you have no authentic power. You are caught in click run mode. And that means you're going to continue to repeat all the old programs from the past. You're going to continue to repeat all the same behaviors, and your epigenetics is going to continue to be unhealthy. And even if you did everything right physically, but you didn't change your inner stance, you will gain the weight back. Even if you got off the drugs and stopped smoking the cigarettes and stopped drinking, if you don't change your inner stance, you're going to go back to the old program as soon as the trigger happens. And it's not lack of willpower. It's failing to shift the inner stance, the consciousness. So this means elevating your consciousness. This means empowering your soul, letting your soul have a say in what's going on in the body. You're basically deciding, you know what? I've tried to figure out this body thing with my brain and my ego and my old programs long enough. I'm going to go ahead and get my soul, my consciousness involved now. And I'm going to stop repeating the familiar old programs, the old thoughts, and the old feelings. And I'm actually going to be brave enough to venture into the unknown void. Even though I don't know what to expect and it's going to feel different and weird, I'm going to venture here because that's the only way I can reclaim my new true self that's healthy, more joyful, more successful. So if you have a desire that has anything to do with health, wealth, and I'm going to say love, and some people would call this happiness or joy, you must have the desire to achieve that, and you must decide to align. And let me tell you, it already exists. Everything you need for a healthy body, a healthy mind, and alignment already exists. You just got to get out of your own way. And those are the old programs. That's where the inventory comes in. What are the programs that keep popping up that are triggering the old familiar behaviors or the old familiar urge to procrastinate or the familiar click run programs? Be aware, be the awareness that catches it in the act. And ask yourself, where am I? What state is my consciousness in? You can't see this. You feel it, you think it, you believe it, you have faith in it, and you know it exists. You just have to decide to elevate your consciousness. You have a default emotional state. You have a default attitude about yourself. You have a default attitude about the world around you. You have a default attitude about the people around you. There's a certain way you perceive certain situations. You can elevate that level of consciousness. Perception, the way you think, the way you feel. And here's your secret power. Here's the most secret power, or the most valuable weapon I'm going to give you, and it's going to work every time you remember to use it. I am choosing to. Remember these words. I am choosing to. Alarm clock goes off at 5:45. Crystal says, I'm tired. Got to bed late. Didn't sleep well. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm choosing to get up and take my action. I'm choosing to get up and do my morning ritual and do my exercises. I am choosing to be healthy. I am choosing. I am choosing. No matter how you feel, You say the words out loud and you start taking the action. You must say them or write them. And the whole time you're taking the action, when your mind tells you all these stories, but we don't have time, or but it's not going to do anything anyway, nothing ever works. All these old stories start coming up. Those are not aligned, but they are hardwired programs. So when they're coming up, don't argue with them, R3 them, recognize them, release them, and replace them with I am choosing to, whatever you're doing in that moment. That is how you will evoke and create neuroplasticity. Literally, the only thought you get to think is I am choosing to. That's it. Whatever it is you're doing, I'm choosing to. And you keep saying it and thinking it in your mind's sound system the whole time. And it doesn't matter how you feel at the beginning. By the time you're done, the feeling will catch up to your action, meaning you'll feel empowered. But you may not feel empowered at first. I am choosing to are the powerful words to realign with the person you're becoming instead of the person you're aware that you don't want to be. The body you're becoming instead of the body you're aware that you don't want to be. So the best way to do it is straight line, simple geometry. If we do everything in a straight line, everything would be very efficient. But sometimes we get caught in the loops. Let's see, I'll use red. Where we start thinking about whether there's a better way, if we're doing it right, collecting more information, talking to our friends, see if we get a friend to do it with us, and we're procrastinating, we're putting it off, and we're just collecting more and more and more, and we're not getting to what we want to become. This is called looping. I call, when I'm in that mode, a looper. Or we start making some progress forward, and then life happens. And here's a little spoiler alert. Life's going to happen. It's going to keep happening. It's going to throw stuff at us that we don't expect. It's part of life. It's going to happen. But when that happens, all of a sudden, we stop taking our aligned actions and prioritizing ourselves. We go backwards. I can't stand it. I can't want to live this way anymore. So we start going forward again. Life happens again. This time worse. We go back further. And it's, we justify our failure with our life situation. We justify stopping our aligned action because of other people. We justify it. We justify it again and again and again. We create excuses and alibis, and everybody co-signs on it. And we know that had we just gone forward no matter what, that we would be alive still, no one else would have died, and we would have a different outcome. So be aware. Am I zigzagging? Am I looping? Or am I staying aligned in a straight line? All humans do all three. But effective humans, happy humans, successful humans, healthy humans, they stay in a straight line. So be aware of which one you're in. Am I staying in a straight line? Or am I looping? Or am I zigzagging? All right. Two alignments. We're going to practice them right now. I am are some of the most powerful words you will ever say. But if you have a very powerful subconscious and I say, I am wealthy, my subconscious is going to say, bullshit. It's going to say, no, you're not. You are not. They didn't say that. It's going to spit it back out. Say, I am choosing to be wealthy. I am choosing to take the actions to create wealth. I am choosing to become a wealthy person. It believes that. That means I'm in the process of doing it. Know that saying I am or I am choosing is always going to give you authentic power. And if your subconscious argues with it, you can always say I am choosing. This is going to help shape your self-concept, which is your consciousness. So, practicing breathing without giving your thoughts permission to stick around. Here's what it is. Alignment, level 1. is breathing. You can do it while standing in line. You can do it best while seating. And your only objective is brain coherence and heart coherence. That means you're slowing down the brain waves and the heart waves and what's going on there without all the hyperactivity. And you're breathing in through your nose and breathing out longer and slower through your mouth. And when thoughts come up, I do not consent to that thought. I'm not consenting to that thought. Thoughts only gain power if we consent to them and we accept them and we let them stay. We can choose not to keep thinking that thought. So choose I'm not consenting to that thought, or I'm letting that thought go. I'm choosing to let that thought go. So if you do not consent to a thought, that thought doesn't get to stick around. But be very aware, some of those thoughts are so familiar that it seems like, hey, they should be here. I mean, it's not always here. That's part of the deal because they're so familiar. That's where the unfamiliar comes in. Being aware that this thought doesn't serve me. I'm no longer consenting to it, so I choose to let that thought go. So that's all it is. Breathing and practicing letting the thoughts go. I have to tell you this, very important. If you judge the thoughts or judge yourself, it doesn't work. And I've learned this and I've studied it and I've learned it again and again because I'll have a thought come in. Oh man, I wonder if she's going to call me back. I wonder if that card's something good. I wonder, and then, Tom, why are you always thinking that? I mean, geez, aren't you over that already? And I judge myself for it. And you'll catch yourself judging yourself. I can't believe I'm still doing that. What's wrong with you? Judging is an old program and it does no good. Judging takes you down on the state. Judgment, self-criticism takes you down. There's no time for judging when you're aligning. None. During your strategy session, you can analyze, I should do this or should I do that? Making decisions during that time, big difference. Making a decision, powerful. Judging, not at all. Either you consent to it or you don't. If you don't consent to it, let it flow through and get right back to breathing. That's alignment level 1. Alignment level 2 is something called intentional imagination. Imagination, we sort of say, it's kind of like daydreaming. It's sort of like just imagining, pretending. No. Imagination is a very powerful way to connect with your desire and to connect with the state you want to be in and the life situation you would like to show up physically. So imagining yourself in your ideal body, imagining yourself in your ideal life situation. But besides seeing it in your mind's eye, you must feel like it. The feeling is what matters the most. Feeling healthy, feeling trim, feeling wealthy, feeling loved. Practice feeling it. And that's alignment level 2. And that's intentional imagination. Alignment level 2, you're practicing, and this is hard work. Hard work. I don't feel like I have a right to. I feel like I don't have any right to practice feeling loved right now. But I'll tell you what, I go pet Rocket. I feel love for Rocket. I feel it. I remember that feeling. And I sit down and I practice feeling love. I'll think of my daughter and I'll feel love and I'll practice feeling it. And I'll just practice the feeling. It always helps to visualize something and to know what that feeling is and know the memories that cause it and practice feeling it. Because when you're in that feeling state, that's when you're creating change. If you're going to spend all your days feeling like you normally feel throughout the day, you're going to stay in the same life situation, the same epigenetic expression, and nothing will change. You must change your baseline feeling, and it will take practice. So alignment level 2 is practicing intentional imagination and practice feeling. You can tap while you're doing it if your mind's going crazy. You can breathe through your heart. Sometimes it will help you to put your hand on your heart and breathe the air into your heart and breathe it out through your mind's projector and actually see it. But the most important part is feeling as if your desire is happening. That is the power. That's how you heal disease. That's how you heal hormones. That's how you heal alignment. That's how you make an epigenetic change. Your actions matter, but only if you feel like you're choosing the action. If you do it resentfully, or if you do it with resentment, with resistance, with doubt, it's not nearly as powerful. The only thing less powerful is not to do it at all.
Hmm.
But if you do it and say, I'm choosing to do action, and even give a reason because I am getting healthier, and you just keep saying that in your mind and sound system, the feeling will follow. You're basically reprogramming your run click programs, your click run programs. You're putting a new action, a new thought, and then the feeling will follow it. But alignment level 2 is you practice feeling. And that's what you're going to do during this time of the day. And it's work. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not just like an easy thing. During this part of the day, when you do your first alignment, you can just do your breathing. But your alignment practice right here, you're going to practice your feeling. Practice feeling your purpose feeling. Practice feeling like your desire is already occurring. And pick one desire at a time. They will all overlap and help each other. But let your mind have something to focus on. Because here is another clencher. You have a secret quantum power. Attention. Your attention is your conscious energy. For some reason, it's hard to spell right when people are watching. For me, it is energy. Where you direct your attention is where you're directing your conscious energy, your quantum energy, your spiritual energy. So if you are paying attention to what you don't want, what you don't like, how you don't want to feel, you're directing energy to that, you're reinforcing it. If you're directing your energy towards what you desire and how you're going to make it happen, and you're desiring, I am taking action to make it happen, I'm taking action to make this happen is far more powerful than I want this. I want this admits lack, admits not having it, and your subconscious does not know the difference. It doesn't know if you actually have it or not. It just knows that you want it, so you don't. And okay, that's how we're programming it. Same thing if you have if you're waiting in a grocery line, besides the person in front of you having BO, you're no danger at all. No one's gonna hurt you. No one's gonna get you. But you're so scared you're gonna be late, and you're so scared you're gonna let this person down, and you're running behind that, and your fight or flight hormones start going. Your subconscious does not know the difference. It thinks you are in danger, and it's releasing all those danger hormones. Like your subconscious doesn't know the difference. It doesn't care. It doesn't judge. It's just trying to keep you safe based on your thoughts and your beliefs. So being aware of what you're thinking and being aware of how often you think it and the feelings that arise is the emotional and thought inventory. Because when you do this, you will rewire your brain and you will start aligning with your healthy self. It is worth it in the long run, but it's not a quick fix and it's not done in a day. But if you do this for 30 days in a row, you are going to notice a change. Things that were stuck before are going to suddenly feel unstuck. Um, you die in your sins. I think that's a quote from the Bible. Your sins are going against yourself. That's the meaning of a sin. It means you're going against yourself, going against your true self, going against your true desire. Whenever you're thinking thoughts that oppose your true self, that oppose what you desire, whenever you fail to assume the consciousness of your desired state, like just assuming the consciousness of your desired state, that is sin. That's going against yourself. So every time we fail, our subconscious says, that really sucked. That feels bad. It even felt bad because we either lost some money or we skinned our knee or someone broke our heart. We lost some love and felt rejected. We want to avoid that ever happening again. So then a click run program happens that whenever anything that looks like it happens, it triggers the fight or flight stimulus. So failures create memories, and memories are stored emotion. So when they get triggered again, that emotion comes up and takes over the show. Unless, here's what you have to do: awareness, and then redirect your attention. Your attention is your quantum/spiritual energy. It's your soul energy. It's more than your focus and your thoughts in your brain. It's actually the energy that you have in your body that is always there. All right. Energy matters. Your inner alignment matters. And it's probably the most important thing. Being aware of your energy state and changing it, of your inner alignment. And I want to give you an example of a magnet. Here's a piece of steel. Boom, right? Piece of steel. It's not magnetized. If we manipulate this piece of steel and we put all the photons on one side and all the electrons on one side, now it's a magnet. That's all we did. It's the same exact structure, the same exact molecules. We just changed, we put all the positively charged photons on one side and all the negatively charged electrons on the other side. Now it's magnetized. The same thing happens in the human body in every cell. When all the negative is moved to one side and our positive, our desired states on the other, energy flows through positively. But that means we have to be aware what is empowering and what's disempowering. So your soul, your consciousness, your inner energy, the source of your attention, it's made up of all we consent to. And all the thoughts we consent to, all the feelings we consent to, that creates our inner energy. That creates our soul. And remember, the soul is like in your body. It's the thing that connects you to the higher 5D plane. It's your consciousness. It's the part you can't really see, but it has a quantum impact. It's what you're directing when you pay attention to something. So examining yourself with no judgment. Observing yourself, no judgment. This is the key. When you are rising above and you're breathing, just become the observer of what you're thinking and what you're feeling. You are no longer your body. You're no longer your thoughts. You're the observer. And your job is to sort out what's positive and what's negative. And it's okay that the negative's there. The worst thing you can do is actually judge it and blame. If you blame anybody, yourself, if you blame a situation or a person, it just strengthens the program. Self-criticism and blame and guilt strengthens the program. That's why we keep repeating it again and again. Even though we felt so bad about it and we felt so horrible for so long, it just made the program stronger. I observe it. Ah, there it is. I'm going to sort the empowering emotion, the empowering thought, from the disempowering thought. That also means the aligned thought, the aligned emotions. You're going to separate them from the misaligned. So I'm going to do a little review here. Your thoughts, your emotions, your moods make up your soul consciousness, your inner alignment, your inner stance. It's what we choose to consent to, or what we choose to think about, and what we choose to feel, what we choose to do, and the mood we choose when we do it. But this is your inner stance. your inner alignment, your inner energy, your inner, Eckhart Tolle calls it your inner body. This is the quantum energy we have inside of us. And this is how the energy from up here, I don't know why I say it's up here. Who knows where the quantum is? It's probably all around us. I just think it's in space, but not all around us. But it goes through and goes through our 4D inner body and it goes into our physical body all the time. Energy is always happening. And the great way to process it is your breath. You are always 3 breaths away from being calm. Literally. Do that 3 times, and you're going to have a physiological response and an inner body and an energy response. It calms down your autonomic nervous system, your fight or flight system, plus it gets you aligned and creates coherence between your heart, your gut, and your brain. Awareness. Awareness is your I amness. I'm aware of who I am, what I'm doing. I'm aware that I am a light. I am love and light in a physical body, and I'm awareness. My I amness. My I amness. And lastly, doing what everyone else is doing, following the old programs you've always had. Complacency is a curse, and we have to release complacency and the need to justify failure. Yeah, I quit again, but you should have seen I had this and this and this. It's like we tack all these reasons on top of it, and we know better. We just do it because it's complacency. We have to fully own it and fully realize that we have way more control by what we consent to and what we don't consent to. Yes, there's lots more. So how does it all come together? And then if there's any questions, I'm going to answer them. Here's how it comes together. When you're taking your aligned actions, instead of just doing them because you have to, do them with attention, with awareness, with emotional alignment. I'm choosing to burn more calories than I consume today. I'm choosing to eat my 70 grams of protein. I'm choosing to move my muscles for 30 minutes each day. I'm choosing. Your timed eating protocol for right now is between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. And if you want to be a little bit more advanced, you're going to go between 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. But you decide what your timed eating protocol is going to be right now and do your best to commit to it. But make an intention that you can do and commit to it. Crystal, any questions?
Not at this time. Just lots of good information.
Keep thinking. Deb, any questions?
No, not that I can think of. I need to just get back onto it. Having a hard time just fasting longer than 24.
You and me both, girl. I'm right there with you, so we'll go through this together. Stick to your daily success list and just start doing the basics, and then start with a 7-hour eating window.
I do that. I stick to. I'm fasting anywhere from most of the time it's 20 to 24, 26 hours. It's that last 10 to 12 hours that are just like kicking my butt.
So let's go for a week with you, since you're a bit more advanced faster, and then I mean you're obviously totally welcome to duplicate Deb's schedule too. But Deb, we need to take the pressure off and just make it sort of a fun little game. So for you, give yourself a 6-hour eating window. And then go 20 hours, and then give yourself, and go 20 hours fasted. on this day. So on this day, it's gonna be 6:18. Go 20 hours fasted. Next day, go again where you're gonna give yourself 6:18. And then on this day, just go 20 plus and see how far you go. That's like, let's just see. Let's see how I feel. But don't put any pressure on you to make it past 24. Just decide I'm gonna go 20. I'm gonna set myself up, and if I want to eat, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna love it. No guilt, no worries. And we're gonna do this for 2 weeks. And if for 2 weeks we don't make it to 24, then we're gonna tighten the bolts. But you will go past 20 when you decide I'm choosing to, and you have a reason that you need to do it.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm working out fasted. I'm hiking fasted. Ooh, wow, there's a lot there. And then drinking, and yeah, my weight's going up.
Why do you think that is?
That's a very quick. I've been trying to figure that out.
I'm gonna tell you very carefully. I'm gonna tell you very simply. You're consuming more calories than you're burning.
Well, yes. But I'm only eating once a day. So I can't imagine that I'm eating all that many calories in one sitting. And I'm not drinking calories either.
Are you doing this every day in a row?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the problem. That's why we're gonna do one day, do one meal. The next day you need a 6-hour eating window and get more calories in. We can't do just one meal a day every day for the amount of activity you're doing. You're gonna have to have a day in between where you have a 6-hour eating window, where you have 2 meals and you get more calories in and more protein in.
Okay.
So on one day, Deb, you are gonna hit, like on the 20 hours fasted, you're gonna hit 1,000 calories on that day, or anywhere between 700 to 1,000. I mean, if you eat any peanut butter at all,
Yeah, I
if
am.
you have don't eat any peanut butter at all, don't have any sweets around. But on the 20-hour fasted day, it's going to be 700 to 1,000 calories, and on this day, it's going to be 1,500 calories to 1,600, and
But the,
that should break that cycle.
but the peanut butter was more when I was hiking in Glacier. I needed the fat and I needed the proteins for like after I did my 8 to 10 mile hike.
I've
I,
seen very few people consume peanut butter and not gain weight.
okay.
It's just peanut. It's the way it is with peanut butter. I'm not positive why it happens, but it's like impossible to get the right amount of calories you think, and just a smidge more gets you so many more calories than you think. So I would definitely be very, very cognizant of how many calories you're putting in your body, and then also have a day in between the long fast days where you're doing the 2 meals, and each of them has the right amount of protein in it.
Okay.
Does this even make sense to you? I mean, I feel like it's a lot of scribble.
Yeah, it does.
Because I'll add another page. I'm not scared. This is not actual real paper, so I can just keep adding pages. So 6-hour eating window.
Mm-hmm.
That's day one. This is going to be a 4-hour, and I would even do a 8-hour. And I would do it for you. I would do a 2-hour, and this one we're going to get down to 600 calories. This one we're going to get to 1,600. This one we're going to get to about 700. Yeah, that's exactly what we need to do with you. We just need
I
to.
want to lose muscle. I'm not quite sure 600 calories is going to be enough. I really don't want to lose muscle.
Well, that's going to be your longer fast. That's going to be your longer fast, and you won't lose muscle as long as you're surrounding it with these days.
Okay.
Because here, let me give me some give me some metrics for you real quick, Deb. Not yet, not yet. I'm not ready yet. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna get you some calorie target. Deb, how old are you?
I'm 63.
63. How tall?
5'5".
How much do you weigh today?
Yesterday was 151.
And you exercise at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So your maintenance is going to be about, and this is with your exercise, it's going to be about 1900. Mild weight loss is 1600. Weight loss 14, and extreme weight loss is 1000.
Okay. 1900 seems a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 600 seems too small. 1900 seems a lot. I think that 1600, and even if this is 700 calories or so, you're only eating one meal on those days, and this is like more like 800. But just go back and forth for a bit.
Because I've gotten out of the habit of, recording everything. I just make sure I eat a lot of protein.
I was gaining weight, and I was not eating any sugar or any peanut butter. I was eating way too much protein and maybe too much MCT and olive oil on my salads because I was literally getting weight. Plus, I was eating later and later. So I had to really dial in my night eating, and then I had to portion out my protein because I was just eating for dopamine. It tasted good. It felt good. I deserved it. I was saving until the end of the day. I was just doing one meal a day. And now I'm having 2 meals every other day, and I'm stopping when I should stop, and I'm stopping when it's dark. So I've had to start following my own rules because I was gaining weight, gaining a belly, eating healthy stuff.
Yeah. And I don't usually eat past like 6 o'clock, 6:30 is the latest because I don't like eating that late. I mean, tomorrow night is going to be an unusual thing. It's a family thing. I know that's just kind of how it is tomorrow. But generally, I am done eating by 6:30 at the latest.
Perfect. And here's the good news. When you're only eating in a 2-hour eating window, you're going to get full with 700 calories.
Well, it seems like I've gotten a nasty habit of eating just because I know I'm not going to eat for another 20 hours.
Okay, there it is. That's a disempowering click program that's not going to help you ever.
Right.
So boom, there it is. When it starts happening, say, there's that program. I'm going to go ahead. I'm choosing to be in a calorie deficit while I'm fasting and go for it because really, you have no idea how long you're going to fast. You may make it 20, you may make it 24. You have no idea. I'm choosing to turn on my fat burning machinery again. I'm choosing to use my fat for energy again. You just have to really program yourself that I'm choosing to turn my fat burning machinery back on.
Okay.
And just do it. And you'll be uncomfortable, and it's okay. You will not die. I promise you. You will not lose muscle mass. I promise you. If you were doing this every single day, then that would be a different story. But with this, you won't.
Okay.
And when you get past 24, tell me because it will motivate me. I will do it too. You and
Well,
I are the same.
today was 26 because I was hiking. Like,
Bam.
I should have been eating if at 24 would have been, 3:30 in the afternoon. I planned on eating while I was hiking, but then I just didn't feel like I wanted to. I didn't feel like it. Didn't feel hungry. And then when I came home, I wasn't even feeling it, but I didn't feel like myself. And so I'm like, I need to have something. And so I ate my lunch that I took, which was peanut butter.
Yeah, stay away from peanut butter for a while, Deb.
But it was on sourdough bread, so it's not like it's on real bread. It's on sourdough.
Stay away from sourdough bread and stay away from peanut butter for a while, Deb. I say that with all the love in the world, but I'm certain of it.
Okay.
Give it 3 days without peanut butter and sourdough bread, even if you hike.
Okay. I have to figure out other foods then. There's nothing wrong with sourdough bread.
Well, I agree that sourdough bread is not going to kill anyone or take them off out of their healthy trajectory. But I would say that when you're having trouble shifting back over, the sourdough bread mixed in with the peanut butter is a carb and a fat at the same time. It is not going to help your insulin levels, and it's not going to help you get back on the fat burning.
True.
And I can also say that
Carbs.
just eating nuts by themselves is going to be better off for you, especially macadamia nuts. I'm going to say that eating some jerky that has low sodium is going to be really good. An apple is going to be better than any bread.
Okay. I can do that.
Peanut butter is it sabotages everyone, even if they think they're doing it right. Even nutritionists, they have trouble gauging the peanut butter. They usually 200 to 400 calories off on it. It's a tough one.
Okay.
How about you, Crystal?
Good. I just so excited.
Take the
To cheat.
action.
Yep.
Don't. I've known Deb for years, so I'm a little bit more direct and straightforward with her. I won't be that way with you for a couple years. Don't
Oh,
worry.
nope. I'm good with straight shooting.
Hi, Crystal. I'm Deb.
Hi, Deb.
I apologize. Yeah, Crystal, super active in the group, doing great. Deb and I have been knowing each other for years. One of my favorite people ever, and been my longest term client. So I definitely want her to succeed, and sometimes straight to the point is the way to go. And I'm sure she
Yep.
will. I'm sure she will. She just needs the information. She does it, and boom.
Yep.
And thank you for showing up, Crystal. Thank you for showing up, Deb, because I love teaching. And the thing about teaching is like basketball. It's hard to play basketball unless there's someone else.
Right.
You shoot around and practice, but you can't actually put it out there unless someone's here. So thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Look forward to tomorrow.
We'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to break down some more fasting and how it relates. We're also going to break down some things you can do to keep your alignment going. And I'll give you a little preview. Oh yeah, don't forget your unpleasant emotion inventory, unpleasant thought inventory. We're going to talk about what's happening at the DNA level. We're going to report back on what went well and ways to lower cortisol. Man, I probably have too much planned, but it'll be good.
I will not be able to attend tomorrow.
Well, do me a favor. If you have any questions, ask them, and
Sure.
I will answer them while we're doing the teaching, and that way you can watch it again later. Okay, Deb?
Sounds great.
I'm so glad you made it tonight, Deb.
Yeah, always.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much, and go forth and do well.
Okay, have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to meet you, Crystal.
You too, Deb. Night.
Bye.
So cool.